with the situation that we're in right now, Sim alluded to the games that we've got coming up, and this injury crisis pretty much couldn't have come at a worse time for Tottenham. Villa at home next, Man City away next, and West Ham at home and Newcastle at home coming up after that. With Romero and Van de Ven definitely out for the City game and the Villa game, how many points do you reckon we're taking out of those next 4 games, Barnaby?
I just want to play devil's advocate. I just want to play devil's advocate first and say I think these injuries could have come at a much worse time. They'd come before the start of the season, and we had to play the first 6, 7, 8 games with the team we've got now. Then we might be, you'd have everybody talking about a relegation battle. So
okay,
what are we talking about? We're
second worst time then, Barnaby. Second worst.
We're talking about Villa home, City away, and who's the other two? Sorry,
West Ham and Newcastle at home.
9 points.
I think really? 9 points?
Yeah, I think we'll win all the home games, and I think we'll get battered at City.
Wow. That is some positivity. Sonny, how many do you reckon we're getting?
I'm going to go with... I like Barnaby's positivity. I think we'll beat West Ham. I think this football is too much for West Ham. Newcastle are a weird team as well. Like, they're either hit or miss. I think they're still a bit rattled, so I'd like to think we'd give them a good game. Villa, all these teams, like the one week they could be really impressive, and next week I think we could beat West Ham, we'll beat Villa, lose to City, draw. So that's 7 points. I've added it up there. Yeah.
Wow,
that's 7.
Sim,
I'm going to be positive.
Last time you asked me, I said 4, but I think that was before we saw the Newcastle injuries. I mean, I'm looking at them. If Newcastle have the same injuries then as they do currently, I think we beat them, to be honest. But I don't think we beat Villa, to be honest. Obviously, I think we lose to City. West Ham, I think we beat. And then Newcastle depends on injuries. I think that's probably going to be a draw as well. I know I'm going to say 5, but I know that sounds incredibly negative. But I honestly don't think that would be that bad given those fixtures, and I still think that keeps us well in the fight for the top 4. And then off the back of that, hopefully a more kind fixture this after, maybe with a few injuries back or whatever, suspensions are back, and then we can maybe start winning games again. So I know 5 points sounds incredibly conservative and negative, but I actually think if we can just come away with those games with only 1 defeat, and if we can win one of them, I think that still keeps us in a pretty good way for top 4. I think that probably keeps us still in the top 5 come out the end of those 5 games.
I said 3 points yesterday, which was extremely negative. But having a look at it now, I'm going to go for a win against Villa, because I just don't think Villa are the same animal away from home than they are at Villa Park, which has been shown this season. We'll lose to City, beat West Ham, and depending on Newcastle, I'm going to go draw against Newcastle. So 7 points I'm going to go for as well. So I'm going to go with you, Sonny. But
look, you guys, sorry to interrupt. Do you guys feel then that, so at the end of those 4 games, you feel like we'll have which players back? So obviously Romero will be back, and obviously Destiny's back already. So what do you think will change after that? Or is that just us using those 4 games because they're till the end of the year, or what?
Why I think it'll be more positive towards the end of that run.
Yeah, I just mean what's going to change after that?
Well, Basuma's going to be back.
Basuma's back, Adogi's back, Romero will be back, Bentancur will be more settled into the team as well. Yeah. I do think we'll have more options available to us, the later it goes. So I think we'll get stronger and stronger.
We've only picked those fixtures just because it's quite a hard run over the next 4. So it's not particularly bad injuries, I guess. Got it,
yeah, because I think another positive way of spinning this stuff is that basically by the time we next play, which I think is the 25th, it's only then a month and 5-6 days till the window opens, and I think that is a positive way of looking at it. So if we talk about maybe that covers those 4 games, cover a great amount of that, then I think it is a positive way of looking at it, based on the fact that Ange keeps talking about wanting to get stuff done early in the window, but obviously the realities of that, and not many clubs like to sell early because they know that they can maybe strangle out a better price if they have more needy buying clubs further back towards the end of January.
But on the flip side to that, Barnaby, we've been playing 3 games a month up until now. In December, we got 7 games. In the space of that time, yes, it's a short amount of time, but we've actually got quite a lot of games in that amount of time. So with our kind of short squad, it does concern me a little bit.
6 wins, 1 draw then.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, in terms of the lineup we saw against Wolves, obviously we know Romero is going to be back. Well, not back next game, but Udogi's going to be back next game. But
Romero's back for the West Ham game.
Well, yeah, he's going to be back for the West Ham game. For the Villa game specifically, with Romero still out, what changes would you guys like to see for that game based on what you saw? Or would you like to see, do you think it's just a one-off and he'll keep it the same and we expect to see better performance even based on the players that were playing in that game? Like, we'll go with you, Sonny. What do you think he should make lots of changes? Do you think he'll look at that team and think, I need to find some solutions here? Or do you think he maybe thinks that was just a bad game and I think these players can still do a job?
I think you keep the front line the same. You know, Johnson, I think, has been really impressive so far. I felt gutted for him, actually, in some of the other fixtures where he got hooked off early due to the sending-offs. The midfield will be interesting because I assume Højbjerg will play the 6, and then the choice is, do you bring Bentancur on, who's still not fully match fit, I'd say.
Although he's been called up for Uruguay, it's important to notice.
Oh, that's interesting. So I feel like he'd be the best because he to me now, with all the injuries and suspensions, he's our best progressive passer in the team, I'd say. I feel like Lo Celso is still not ready at all. I feel like
I thought he made a difference though, Lo Celso, didn't he, against Wolves?
I'm not sure. I've got massive question marks over him, and I feel like Bentancur still has got that like extra in his game where he can find that, you know, the gap between the lines. And then it's the centre back situation where I do think Davis, I think, keeps his spot. I feel like I was harsh at him at the beginning. There was moments where he showed one, real leadership, and two, just tenaciousness. Then it's, who do you bring in? Do you bring in an Ashley Phillips or a Dorrington and really chuck them in the deep end per se? I feel like Phillips is probably the more ideal player to put there because, you know, we have brought him in the summer for a reason, and, you know, he's just a unit. Against a team like Villa as well, I feel like it's good to have like that sort of, you know, guy at the back. Destiny Udogie as well. I feel like that's the problem I saw against Wolves. It was that option of passing into the like the inverted wing backs that was a problem. It sort of broke down. So having him back will be crucial, and Pedro Porro, I think that will make his game better as well, having his partner in crime back. So I think personally Phillips in, and then it's probably, I feel like it will be Skip. I can just see Skip starting, but personally I'd probably just start Bentancur if he's ready, that is.